I've got the board done, but before I put it back in, hook up all that wiring mess. Some stuff in here I want to attend to. Replace that cap, and there's actually some parts underneath this tower here, and I want to check the flyback and high voltage rectifier tube inside of here. And then that is a width control. It seems to be working alright. Switches the cord in and out of the circuit. Usually it's a variable slug, but in this case it's a tapped inductor. Not a whole lot of parts under here, but definitely worth getting at. This is a horizontal output tube, and there's resistors that all drafted off in value, and the one paper cap in there was no doubt leaky, so re-secure that. And then when I get this cap, I'll start moving my way over here. I'm just about done wiring this board back in. With the aid of service info I found in Riders Volume 26, one of the last volumes they published. It shows you the board and the little legend down below, which correspond to the 18 stakes on the board. Show you what to go to. Still kind of a pain, but it is an aid for sure. I'm going to move on to this board. So what I've also been doing is checking out this tuner, seeing how the action goes. So I did some cleaning and talked about a little bit earlier. Well, I was wondering what the spring was for down in here, in this little mechanism. Well, I finally figured out that this knob pulls out for fine tuning. And when you do, it rotates whatever the current channel slug is. You lock it in. Switch to a different channel, pull this out, and rotate that slug. So, rather complicated setup. So inside here there must be tunable slugs. Whereas the rest of the tuner is located in here. Okay, I finished wiring everything back in, and I figured before I move on to this, it'd be a good idea to make sure that everything's still working. So I dug out a little 8Y-P4 test CRT. Kind of awkward because there's no support for the CRT anywhere near, so I wedged an old t-shirt in under there. Should be alright. Put a little test speaker. And let's see. Oh, cool. Nothing going up in smoke. And get a raster back. I also did clean things up in here, so let's see if it works any better. Oh, it seems to be better now. Cool. Pictures have been pretty darn good too. Now I know how this fine tuning works. Pop that out. Tweak things a little. That was a major pain in the butt, but I got it out, so now I can really get in there and work on it. Took a ton of reference photos, so hopefully I can reconnect it all back up properly. This board is coming along nicely. A few resistors I want to replace, which leaves one major task, which is this. Just remove this from the TV cabinet. It is the remote control receiver. So I think it's a little power transformer there. Filter cap up here. Here's a motor. So I wasn't sure how the volume control on this works. So the motor for the tuner is in the TV chassis because it's the same motors used with both the remote control and the push button tuning. But the volume control, it actually is like a dual volume control. There's a volume control on the front of the set itself. You can turn with your hand, and there's one in here attached to the servo motor. So I think the way it works is you set like the main volume, or the master is kind of on the chassis, and then this one works sort of in series with it. So I'm going to want to get in here. So I've got a few options for that. Hold those sheet metal screws all over the place. It's like probably the most logical place to start would be the bottom. Well, because it's all potted up because I'm seeing some wax oozing out here and there. Also notice there's this tag on here. Receiver components UHF, and it says EN37, which is also up here. Turns out this side comes off pretty easily, and here we can finally see the insides. Pretty darn clean. I don't think everyone needs to do much of anything. Some mica caps, those are fine. Before we replace that bumblebee solid state rectifier, that should be okay. The relays look really clean. There's the volume potentiometer attached to that servo motor. Hopefully it's alright. And that down in there is the reed relay assembly. Of course, I'll check these two tubes. We got one electrolytic here and one up here. See about replacing those. This one puts 10 microfarad cap across each of the relays. I think to suppress any ringing on the relay coils. And this is the filter cap for the power supply. Here's a diagram from the service info. Here's one identifying the parts and the remote receiver. And here's the schematic. So here's the relays and those 10 microfarad caps I was talking about. Here's read relay assembly. And the actual RF amp detector, audio amp that will resonate one of these four read relays, which triggers the larger relays. So you turn the motors on or off, or the whole set on or off. Should be this latching relay here, and it's your on-off action right there. And then the channel selector and plus minus volume.